We're going live. It would come back and say dumb polar. One last time. Oh my god, I have to do this all again. All right, I'm live, guys. It's Tom back here at Crypto Life Inc. for my first market update, and we're gonna do altcoin market update today. And I do pray to God I'm live because I was streaming for half an hour and apparently I was not live. So apologies if I rush stuff. But I've already gone through it. Anyways, Edward has helped me out. I believe I am now live. I'm definitely not doing it for a third time. All right, let's quickly... I was already up to dot. Anyway, so today we're going to look quickly at Bitcoin ETH, and then we're going to go look at Kadena, CRO token, Loopring, DOT, Solana, and then we also had some suggestions from our group. So... got my Daniel. So it's my crypto newbies group. You can join if you want. The link will be on our channel somewhere. And yeah, this guy's top 3 picks is Matic, Mana, and Solve. So we'll have a look at those and see if his top 3 picks for end of this month is going to be looking good or not so good. Okay, so let's go into Itsy Bitsy Bitty Bitcoin. What you doing, Bitty? Okay, so where have we retraced to and where have we bounced to? So on the fib retracement, we are sitting at the 0.16, just under it. Let's see if we got that right. Yep. Okay, so just under 0.16. On the... Actually, let's go look at the weekly for a little bit more clarity. Yeah, so we're just under... and we wicked basically the whole thing, which was crazy. But yeah, still remaining bullish, even though we are in a mad dumb polar phase there. We still retained the daily higher high. So this is just, we're looking for the lower low to be set, most likely going to be set in this region at around the 46, 47k mark. Now, if we jump onto the daily, we can see what we're basically resting on the 200 EMA. And as I said, if I actually record this live, when I said we're about to go back and test some of the lower range, and it was at 50,000 something, and we already dumped. So, I mean, I can't even claim I'm right anymore because that's not live anymore. But I did say we're going to go and retest some of this lower range. So I do think we will probably go and retest anywhere between 47 to 46k. This is a huge anomaly this wick, so we may recover the wick. Really depends to be seen. Any closures below this would actually... Any closure on any daily closure below this is just looking pretty wrecked. Let's be honest. So this is basically the invalidation. If you're a hodler and you're looking for this to maintain its bullish trend upwards, you do not want a closure below this zone. Okay. Now that we've got that said, we can still retest it. This is an anomaly. If we want to look at the weekly, we will see such retests of wicks. So look at that. Remember this huge dumb polar? Who remembers this huge dumb polar, right? Selling may walk away. Look at it. Retested the wick again in the El Salvador dump. I believe it was here. Boom. Wick. Bang. Retest the wick. Grab more liquidity. Go back and get, 70, 60% of the wick. So, look, guys. On the weekly, we could come back all the way down to the 55 EMA and still remain bullish. That's right now, I think it's higher likelihood that we retest at least some of this wick. So we're probably going to go and take at least half of it, which would be at least around the 46k on the conservative side, right? So I do think we can at least get half of it, bounce off this 0.78, or we're going to go back down and just recover like up to here and bounce off this EMA. So right now, if we break this zone for price, not even a closure, if we break this particular price point, we're looking for more downward side to recover more of the wick. So that's what to look out for with Bitcoin. And if we look at the... Actually, is there anything we can see with the RSI? I think I drew something as opposed to... Yeah, we're in this downwards trend. Yeah, okay. It's all coming back to me, guys. It's all coming back to me. Yeah, we're in this downwards trend. You can draw this. It's like a wedge. It's not too important this side. You see, so there's still further downside if we want to go back down. We're in this channel right in the middle, so we can go back down, test this, bounce back up, and then we have to see if we can break this trend line. If we can, we'll go onwards and upwards. And where can we go to? I'm still within the next 2 weeks. I do think we first 2 weeks of December we're just going to range in this zone, a little bit of downwards action in the short term. Now, if we look at the bullish scenario, we need to break this price point on the daily. We just got rejected by the 5 EMA, and we were hovering in between the 200 EMA, but you can see we have broken downwards again from this, so we're likely to probably find support around the 200 moving average, which is a confluence for us, again with some of the other EMAs we're looking at. So again, around the $46,000 mark, which is what I think is much more likely. We don't really want to see a closure beneath that, that's for sure. It's looking pretty bad if we do see a closure beneath there. We really want to see a closure above this, so we want to actually be able to break this zone here. So I'm going to be short term to the downside until we break at least the 50,600 700 ish mark. So yeah, there you have it for Bitcoin, and you can see that we do have some liquidity. We can foresee a bounce if we do break this zone to go all the way up to $53,000 and potentially go and retrace back to the 50 EMA on the daily, which would be the $56,000 mark. So yeah, those are the points of interest for Bitcoin right now. I do think it's probably going to do a bit more of this, probably a little bit more sideways before we bounce back up and continue the bull trend into probably next year at this stage. We could get some Christmas gifts from the gods, the crypto gods, but we will have to wait and see. First, we need to reclaim at least the 51,000 mark to get any bullish moves to the upside. Okay, so now let's go look at Ethereum. How are we going, ETH? Yeah, forgive me. My voice is dying because I literally did this for half an hour and then realized it wasn't even live. I know. YouTuber life. This is my first stream, so you cannot really blame me, guys. Anyway, so ETH, you can see we're basing off the 4K mark. We are just going just a little bit under it before we bounce back up. So that is really what I'm looking for ETH. We don't want to see any closures under the $4,000 mark. This wick potentially could get recovered. I don't really want to see it get recovered. I'm looking pretty bearish on it if it tries to go back down to here. But I mean, in the grand scheme, like if we zoom out, that's fine. Like if you're a hodler, that's fine. Don't worry. We're on the weekly, look, we're just testing the 21 EMA and we bounced straight back up from it. So, you know, we could potentially even go down to 3,700, still remain really, really decently bullish. Ethereum has, you know, held a lot better than Bitcoin, and I think it'll follow suit with Bitcoin. If you look at the ETH and BTC pairing, it is also showing those signs as well. But yeah, we're probably likely to move onwards and upwards with Ethereum once Bitcoin sorts its shit out and breaks the 51K mark. So that is what I'm looking at for Ethereum. And if we want to look at some pools of liquidity on Ethereum, let's have a look. So yeah, so we had this pool of liquidity drawn before, and it obviously took that and some more and bounced off the 200 EMA. Right, let's look at this wick. So such a bullish wick, just bounced straight back up. This one is like, it's one of those things that's going to be hard to recover. If Bitcoin does a massive dump hole and recovers to $40,000, then we will see the recovery of this. So that's basically what we're looking at. We are still, like, you can see we're above the daily EMA on the 50 EMA for Ethereum. So it's looking pretty nice. And we're just between these two lines, these two zones, these blue lines, sorry. So yeah, I think any closure beneath $4,000 does mean that we're going to go back down further. I think short term we do actually range within this range of like anywhere between like 4,500 to this $4,000 mark. Really, it's a huge range, so it's actually not too bad to do some scalp trades if you want to do some scalp trades here, longs or short. I mean, I don't know if you really want to short, but if you got this one, it would have been nice. But yeah, we're struggling with the 5 and 13 EMA. So without any closures above this, we're very likely going to go back down, at least probably test the lower side of this range in the short term, next week or two, before we can see a bounce holer, potentially the end of December or I'd say early Jan at this stage. But we will do some more analysis when we get there. So that is what ETH is looking like. Now let's jump onto the altcoins. So we got Cadena. How do you pronounce the coin? Leave a comment in the comment section. KDA. Okay. So Cadena, we had high hopes for this coin, but it's been pretty wrecked lately. She's been pretty wrecked, not gonna lie. But look, we had an insane move up. the only option was really for a retrace, and we did bounce off the 21 EMA on the weekly, so it's not looking horrible. It's still bullish, even though it may not feel like it. It's experienced, I don't know, 70% correction, which is huge. 82% correction. Oh my lordy. Oh my lordy. I just can't tell if this white line is the wick or not. Anyways, even here, okay, 70% correction. So we've retraced quite a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. And if we want to draw like a fib retracement, let's see what level we retrace to. So we retrace all the way to 0.78, which is looking pretty damn wrecked. So it's not looking at extremely great for Kadena. My short-term analysis is this coin does love to wiki, washi, and whack itself, if that's even a phrase. Anyways, I do think we will get some kind of retest of this downwards hammer. Not looking great. So we're probably going to go between the $10 and $9 zone in the short term, do another couple of wicks there, and if we have a closure beneath $9, this is not looking great. We're probably going to go and retest this $6, $5.50 zone. Yeah, so in short term, Kadena's looking pretty wrecked. Long term, it's still looking okay. I think this is very much a hodl for me because of how bullish the fundamentals of this coin are. But yeah, it's a little bit concerning right now. Not looking too great. So we really don't want to have any closures beneath $9. That's the current invalidation. And then if that invalidates, then we will see further continuation to the downside. And let's have a look to see if we've got any liquidity. So we've recovered all that liquidity. What a shame. Yeah, looks like we're going down, rejected by the 5 EMA. These EMAs are spreading, and it's about to cross the 50 EMA, so it's not looking great for the short term. And look, this is where the 200 EMA is. So like 460, yeah, so it's not looking great. We definitely want to keep an eye on the $9 range for any closures on there. That's looking pretty wrecked. So and look at that. Dumping as we speak. Yeah, I'd love to say good things about this coin, but so far not so great. But yeah, we'll keep you updated on this channel with this one anyway. Now let's go to CRO. So we do like to draw some trend lines on the RSI, and we're going to toot our own horn and point this one out because I was telling people anyway, this was the top. I was telling people this was the top. I was telling people this was top. I told everyone. I told people there was 3 tops, and any of those tops would have been good for you because you could have just bought back. So I sold at 72. The most of mine, I sold a bit early. I also sold about 85, and then a little bit at 90 cents. So and then I bought all mine back at around 50 cents. So decent trade. Decent swing trade for me, not too shabby. We did expect this move to the downside because look at the trajectory. You can't just go up without a retrace, guys. It's just not possible. It's not possible. And if we look at the weekly retracement, what are we seeing? Yeah, look, we're at the 0.5 mark. Why is my number so weird? Okay, well, it's covered by the thing, but it sounds like 0.54, whatever. 0.5, right? So we're at the 0.5 retracement mark. So, you know, it's still remaining its bullish posture. It's bounced, hasn't even, on the weekly, look, it hasn't even touched the 21 EMA. It's just bounced straight away from it. And if you look on the daily, let's have a look. So we broke the 21, currently finding resistance there. So likely to see some further downwards action, probably find support around the 55 EMA. So I would imagine, like we said in the last video, which was about 2 weeks ago, that is probably going to range around the 50 to 40 cent mark if it gets wrecked. So if this doesn't hold, then we're going to be looking at around the 40 cent mark. So yeah, I still think that is very much going to happen. We're probably going to recover this at least. I think 50 cents more likely, and then we will see if we can hold the 50 cent range zone once we get there. So that is short term for CRO. And yeah, this was also supported by the trend line. So we drew this trend line showing everyone. And see, we had 3 points of contact and we broke bearish. And we also had the double top, which is a natural bearish divergence somewhere up there. And yeah, so we broke through and we saw huge follow through to the downside. So that's where my price targets are in the short term for CRO. Long term, still pretty bullish on CRO. I mean, that's why I bought back at 50 cents. I've already made profit on this trade, but I'm like, that's basically my hodl. So I'm just gonna hold it. I don't really mind this downside. I got in CRO like 20 cents, so well into profit, and yeah, it's fine. This one we really wanted to see it hold at least a 50 cent mark. Otherwise, we're going back down to 40 cents. Moving on. So we've got looping. Let's have a look at loopy doopy. Gonna take some more. Oh my god, voice is like giving out. I'm gonna have to like talk in this smooth, calm tone to preserve my voice. Okay, so looping. What are we doing on looping? That's the weekly. Hasn't even tapped the 21-day moving average, so still remaining pretty bullish. On the daily, I did call for the top in my review, which was probably 3 weeks now, about $3.80, $3.70. And look, we came back down. And then we double topped, basically. And then we come back down again. And this is also supported now by our RSI trend line. So we have 3 hits to the low. So it's looking like some further continuation down. At least to retest some of these zones. So the 55 EMA, probably $2 mark, is looking pretty solid for looping. We don't really want to see any closures beneath it. We can wick a bit under all the way down to $1.50, but we don't want to see any closures. That would be really bad for looping in the short term. So short term, I think a little bit downwards, and then we can range out a bit and potentially see another leg up if we are remaining bullish and we can hold this zone. On a retracement, like how are we dealing? Yeah, so 0.7, 0.618, and we're currently holding around, we were sitting around 0.5, but we're probably going to retest the 0.618 mark. So that's just another confluence for you. And if we want to look at some pools of liquidity, USDT, real quick, let's see if there's any areas of interest on the shorter time frames. So you notice on the daily, same situation. This EMA is about to... It's actually still remaining bullish. We're still above the 50 EMA, so it looks like we are going to go retest it, and it coincidentally happens to be at $2. So I think $2 mark is quite possible for the near future of looping before we can at least find. It's not going to be a high low. I mean, yeah, it's not going to be high low, but at least we can try and base off here and see some more move upwards, but we're probably going to range out here a little bit more and reset for looping in the near future. So long term, still pretty bullish on this, but we have some liquidity here, so look at that, and it also aligns with $2. So yeah, I think short term, at least to the downside, before we can see whether we hold this zone to move back out again. And we do have a W here, so it could be a retrace, still valid. Even here is still valid, so very likely at least 70% of this can be recovered before we do a little bouncy bounce. But yeah, that's my analysis on looping. Now let's have a look at DOT. Polkadot has been wrecked lately, and there's not much else to say about it. It has just been absolutely wrecked. So looking at Polkadot here, we've seen a pretty big move. We've seen, oh my god, oh my lordy, that 55% move to the downside. So on the weekly, it's still bullish. It's still bullish on the weekly, bouncing off this 55 EMA. This is not the best chart, but you get the point. It's still an uptrend, as even though it's corrected towards the bottom actually. So this could potentially be the high low, and yeah, we definitely don't want to see any closures underneath $24. Otherwise, we're going to go $10, it's not looking great. So you want to hold that zone. So potentially looking to form the high low here. Let's look at it on the daily. Definitely going to go revisit some of these zones. I think we're going to look at there's already 3 wicks down here. I think we possibly see another one. Yeah, possibly going to go back there. And if we close beneath 24.37, we're looking pretty wrecked. Probably going to get some further follow through. So also under the 200 EMA on the daily, so it's not looking great for DOT at this stage. Looking pretty wrecked. Hoping for Bitcoin to save the whole market and bring back DOT with it. DOT is, I'm pretty bullish on the DOT blockchain overall, but yeah, can't say it's looking too great there. But here is some hope for the bulls, if we can, but we did get rejected. So we're trying to base off the 200 moving average, got rejected off the 5 EMA. If we can close preferably above this candlestick at $30.50, we can see at least a short-term recovery of this liquidity here, and probably go up to $33. And if we can break that zone, then we can go and revisit $37, $38. So that's looking a little bit better. Short-term bounce, probably going to play out probably in the next week or two, once we go and chill out in these zones, these lower zones for a bit. I think we get at least one more drive to the downside. 4 weeks, make it even number, and bounce back up. And then we also we haven't had a shark fin out of the volatility band yet. It would be nice to see that in a recovery, but if we can base a W here, and then we can potentially see some price moving back up. But yeah, short term is looking like not so great. Probably if we don't close, we don't really want to see closure even below this on the daily, like the $28 range. We can see some couple of wicks, but we ideally want to close here. And we're probably likely to see like a little wick back down because we've had quite a bit. So that's what it's looking like right now. Possibly a bounce here, and then we can see where we can go. But right now probably if we don't hold this, we're going to go back down to 24, and then potentially we can see a little bounce for DOT. Okay, now let's have a look at Solana. Solana has been, I think Solana always holds pretty well. I'm quite proud of Solana. It doesn't really get too wrecked. In terms of these coins, now, I'm not sure where this was drawn, so we'll draw it again. So we're on the daily. Okay, let's draw the retracement. So we're, whoops, daisies. Okay, so we've retraced to the 0.5 mark, and we're also resting on the 89-day EMA. So it's not looking too bad, remaining bullish in its posture. The macro uptrend is still intact. If you look at the weekly, it's looking absolutely fine. Hasn't even tapped the 21-day moving average. So nothing really to worry about for the holders, the hodlers. Short term, what are we seeing? We're probably going to chill down in this zone. It's similar as a case to, Bitcoin and some of these altcoins as well. But we're still consistently closing lower lows on the smaller time frames. You can see that on the daily. And we don't really want to see a closure under $182, I would say. This is going to, possibly create more wicks down there. We will find probably bounces around this region, as you've seen before, and also probably just go down and do short term, probably do some wiki action before we can see another little bouncy bounce. So let's have a look at Solana on this to see where the liquidity is. Okay, so daily resting under the 50 EMA, so not looking great. We do want this to be curving up for any bullish analysis. So yeah, short term is looking pretty bearish. Let's have a look at the 4 hours, see where the liquidity is. So we don't really want to close under 181. That's looking pretty nasty for Solana. So we want to hold this zone, form a W. We could possibly be seeing a W here. So if we can hold this zone, possibly a W, and then we can go and retest and pick up the liquidity on the daily chart. You can see where the liquidity is. Possibly a bounce at $202 if we can break this 193 zone where the 5 EMA is, and then we could see all this liquidity recovered. So 211 all the way up to $234. And when this coin moves, it really moves, so it's quite possible that it just goes back and recovers. But I think we're going to have a little bit more action to the downside, chill here for a bit before we do pop up, probably in the next week or two, I'd say, maybe even 3 weeks. So that's what Solana's looking like. Okay, so we've done all my picks, and now we're going to go look at Paulie Quinn. Paulie Quinn, we're going to do yours, and we're going to wrap it up, because oh god, I've been actually talking for like 20 minutes, but I've also done the other one, which is 30 minutes, so now I've run on 50 minutes now. Okay, so let's go look at Matic. I'm just going to do these real quickly on the moving averages chart, because I just need to wrap it up, guys. I need to wrap it up and get some other things in the works. We're gonna do I'm gonna do a little Luna review later. Luna's been mooning pretty good recently, so I'll do a little review on that. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. But yeah, look, let's go back to this one. On the weekly, we are hitting the 21 EMA, so bounce right off. I mean, Matic is looking bloody bullish compared to Bitcoin and all the other altcoins that I like. This is looking good. I should really be I should have really bought this dip. Okay, so this is looking great. And we're possibly going to go recover this wick. This is a complete other story. I got to actually get my head out of the dumps of short-term bears now. Okay, let's have a look at where we are. So this is the weekly. Ooh, weekly's getting a little trend going, eh? You're getting a little upwards trend going. That's not perfect, but you get the point, guys. You get the point. We're basing off this. There's no real points. I can draw that off on the top. Yeah, so it's looking not too bad. Did get a bounce there, as the RSI suggests. So, yeah, looks like we could possibly go and see the recovery of this wick at around $2.72, just at a short glance. So let's look at the daily and see what's what. Yeah, we want to see that. If we can get a close above that, then we can go onwards and upwards and go into what seems to be price discovery mode. So yeah, that's what we're looking out for. Okay, let's see on the daily if we have any other trends here. You do have a macro long-term trend, which probably gets dicey when I draw lines that low. So bounce up. There's no real trend at the top that I can see. There's only 2 points there. Anyways, yeah, so we bounced off here, similar not to on the weekly. So we're looking pretty good. I do think short term we're probably going to see the recovery of this. If we can close above the $2.66 mark, then we're going to go to all new time highs. And this is just completely disregarding what has happened to the rest of the market. It doesn't give shit. It just wants the moon. So good on you, Matic. Maybe I'll buy some more Matic. Okay, let's look at Mana. That's a good pick, Paul. That's actually a pretty damn good pick. I can see why you think it's going to do well at the end of the month. I do tend to agree. Why is this the worst? I'm in the perpetual contracts. Oh God, why do you choose to die on me, USDT? Okay, let's look at Decentraland. What are you doing, Decentraland? Similar situation to Bitcoin. As you can see, a lot of these charts are similar in posture. Obviously, the altcoins move a little bit differently to Bitcoin and Ethereum does. And even Ethereum is moving a bit differently to Bitcoin. But let's see what we've got here. So we bounced off the 89. Another bounce off the 55. And we're just under the 21. So rejected again on the 21. So it looks like we're going to range and go recover some of this wick or potentially some of this. So we're looking at price targets about $3.23 and $2.55, and the invalidation would obviously be any closure above this zone here at $4.20. So that's what Mana's looking like, a little bit more corrective still. So there's still room to go for it. So if you're a hodler, it's still fine. It's still remaining in this bullish posture. Even the daily uptrend is still bullish there. Like the wick didn't even go below, so you're fine. But yeah, short term I think a little bit more downside before we can base out, find a high low potentially, and then move back upwards. Okay, and now lucky last solve. Now I don't even know what solve does. So if anyone wants to tell me what it does in the comments, that'd be great. Oh my God, what the hell is this chart? What the fuck happened to you? What is this shark fin? Oh my God, it's like a skyscraper. Okay. Let's see if this is the. Okay, what's on KuCoin? It's probably, let's see if the Bittrex chart is any longer. Okay. All right. Okay. More information. Let's go look at the weekly. I don't know anything about this coin. So, oh my God. Looks like a shit coin, guys. Paulie, this could be a shit coin. What is this? What is this wick? How far did, oh my God. What the fuck? Are you serious? What? And does, how, what the fuck is this? Oh my God. This wick goes to $350. Are we gonna recover that wick, guys? I don't think so. I'm just gonna put that out there. I do not think so. Not anytime soon. Anyway, we need to see some. Sorry, guys. We need to get back to the chart. Why did I do that? Such a waste of time. Oh my God. I wanted to see where it ended. I thought it was just gonna end here, and it just kept going. My God. All right, solve that problem. That's the first thing. What are we doing here? We are on the weekly. We are testing and resting on the 55 and 21. Now, it's so hard to even tell if this is crossing over or not. It just looks like one big fat line to me, so I'm not even going to bother. This is not looking too great for this coin. I mean, look at this. This is just like stop hunt rise drop. It's just short squeeze drop. Like I personally wouldn't trade this coin. It's unpredictably wiki. And I can't even say that it's bullish because it's gone nothing but sideways. Like it's done nothing but gone. Yeah, it's really just gone sideways within the range of. I mean, it's a big range, 4 cents to like 59 cents. So I guess like if you want to gamble it and put some money in that could be okay. Well, let's look at the short term. Long term, like it's looks like it's just gonna keep going sideways. It's very hard to tell if it's gonna break up. Like it's not a very good chart to trade or analyze. like what do you do with this information, you know? This RSI is just going flat sideways, so like if we can get a closure above any of these, then we can possibly go back up and revisit 35 cents and 60 cent mark, you know? Like this is basically guesswork at this stage, and it's very uneducated guesswork at that. On the daily, we're beneath the EMAs, so we need a closure above it to see any upside. So if this is your pick for the month, Paulie, it's going to have to do something. It's going to have to close at least above. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'd like to see like a closure at least above this candlestick at 15 cents. But yeah, if we can venture up a bit above 18 cents, then it's looking pretty good for at least some upside in the short term. So short term actually doesn't look like it's going to dump any further. It looks like it potentially could pop out. But we want to see the in this chart anyway, the 21 cross the 55, and then to confirm that. And I mean the MFI. I've never done this before, but the MFI is showing a positive trend. So money flow is going up. But this RSI is it's really just ranging sideways. So yeah, that's basically what I think for this coin. And you look, any closures beneath 9 cents, the 10 cent mark is probably going to have further downside, and you can probably find some something to support you at about the 6 cent mark. So yeah, look, this is very hard to trade this because look at the EMAs. They're just behaving completely abnormally. Like what coin does this? It's ridiculous. I mean, I wouldn't, just by looking at the chart, this does not seem like a great long-term hold. It doesn't seem like the liquidity is very good for this coin. It's just doing crazy things. Yeah, I'd like to see a more tradable coin, to be fair. So I mean, there's not much I can say about this except probably short-term a little bit up, and then we'll see what happens with it. Anyways, that's my market update for the altcoins done. Hope you guys liked it. I'm not going to do it again because I've already done it twice. But yeah, remember to like and subscribe. And if you guys have any suggestions of coins you want us to review or want us to do technical analysis on, leave them in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next